Hi everybody, Tom Chaconis here from HolisticSense.com, and today I'd like to teach you how to make Thieves Oil lozenges. It's cold outside, everybody's getting sick, and the weather is all over the place. Snowstorms, rainstorms, ice storms, perfect time for your Thieves Oil lozenges. So for this, what you'll need is some honey. You'll need your Thieves Oil. You'll need a turkey baster with a rubber bulb. You'll need a thermometer that's able to detect a temperature of 300 degrees. A cookie sheet, some wax paper, and a small saucepan. And what you're going to do is you're going to take about 1/4 cup of honey and you're going to put it in the pan.
Right.
So once you've put the honey in the saucepan, you're going to allow it to heat up. Now it takes a little bit of time for the honey to heat up, and you need to heat it to 300 degrees. Please be very, very careful when doing this. It gets extremely hot, of course, 300 degrees, and sugary substances can burn a lot more than just boiling water. So just be really careful. You'll notice that as you start to heat the honey, it becomes very, very loose. So we've got our thermometer ready, and it's starting to boil around the edges.
Okay.
So the honey will start to boil quite vigorously, as you can see. And it's important to keep stirring it. And while stirring it, put your thermometer in and periodically check to see what the temperature is. As I'm continuing to boil and stir, you see the temperature going up to 200, 250. I'm going to continue to stir it and let it sit for a little bit. Okay, so the temperature has just reached 300 degrees. I'm going to move the honey over, turn the heat off. And as you could imagine, 300 degrees is very hot. So we're just going to leave it on the side of the stove until it starts to cool down. Do not add the oil, the Thieves Oil, until the honey is completely cooled down. If you do, the heat from the honey will evaporate the oil and you'll get a lot of smoking. I have found that it's best to wait a little while and allow the honey to cool down, and then add anywhere from 8 to 12 drops of the Thieves Oil. And I'll show that to you next. Okay, so you're all familiar with Thieves Oil. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up the Thieves Oil. The honey has had sufficient time to dry, or cool rather. And so what I'm going to do is, I like mine spicy, so I'm going to add about 10 drops. Of Thieves Oil to the honey, and I'm going to stir, and you can probably see a little bit that even though the honey has cooled sufficiently, there's still a little bit of warmth at the bottom that's causing the oils to smoke. So I'm just going to stir it in really well, and I'd like to show you that the honey is now very, very thick. So it got very loose as a result of heating it, and now it is very, very thick. And this is quite a little mess to clean up when you're all done. So remember to use hot water or boiling water. Sometimes when I'm done with the project, I may put this in the microwave to loosen up the honey. If you heat it again, it will start to get loose and be able to clean a lot easier. So what we're going to do. So what I found particularly helpful is, instead of pouring it in the tube, I pour it in the rubber bowl. Put the tube back on very gently, because as you push down, you'll notice that the volume starts to move up. And then what I like to do is turn it a little bit on its side. We're going to apply small drops to the cookie sheet. You don't want the drops too big. So you have a lot more control this way than using a spoon. Now you may have to put the baster in a pot of hot water upside down. If the liquid inside starts to warm up, or cool down rather, it'll get very, very thick, and you'll notice that it won't come out of the hole very easily. But for right now, I think it's warm enough that it's doing well. You'll also notice that when you come back to these a few days later after you've wrapped them in your wax paper, that they've thinned out quite a lot from when you first dropped them. And that is because it is still a very slow moving liquid. So they're much, much thinner. I guess these are probably about a ½ an inch. When I first did this, I couldn't believe that this would really solidify enough for me to wrap them up. But after about a ½ an hour of waiting, that's exactly what happened. And now you can start to see that it's a little harder for the fluid to come out. It is cooling down substantially, making it harder to come out of the hole. Last weekend I started coming down with a little bit of a sinus infection, and I started eating these. And of course, as we all know, to rub Thieves Oil on the bottom of our feet when we feel something coming on. And between the lozenges and the Thieves Oil on the bottom of my feet, I think maybe it took 2 or 3 days for me to feel much better than I was. Again, remember that depending upon how spicy you like them, that'll determine how much oil you use. So if you don't like too much spice, use less oil. Honey has immunostimulating qualities to begin with. So added with the Thieves Oil, it really is a terrific way to help yourself get out of a cold. Now, while I haven't tried it myself, I'm sure that you could certainly add eucalyptus oil, provided that it's a Young Living or a food grade oil. You can add eucalyptus oil. You could probably add some lemon oil to make lemon drops. You could probably add peppermint oil to your list of oils that you'd like to add. And of course, eucalyptus would be great if you're dealing with some respiratory issues. Peppermint would open up your sinuses. So all the lozenges have cooled and have hardened, and you'll notice that they very easily pick up from the mat. And what we do is we just take them, and these are pieces of wax paper that have been cut, and you fold them over and then press down, and you're good. Wax paper is about 1.5 to 2 inches long and approximately 1 inch wide, and there are different varying sizes, but that should work. Cut them to your specifications. Now what I've done is I have an old metal wallet box from a Christmas gift, and what I like to do is just put them into there to keep them airtight. and I will just wrap each and every one. Also wanted to make sure that I explained well that once you add the thieves oil to the honey, it might start to solidify and be very hard to manipulate. If that is the case, put it back on the stove for just a minute or two on high heat while you're constantly stirring. Once it gets loose enough for you to put it in the bulb of the turkey baster, then you're good to go. You do have to work relatively quickly. I've done this 3 times so far. The first time was trial and error. The second time I had some usable lozenges, and this time I think things went much, much better. Also, just another reiteration of a cleaning tip. When you're cleaning all of your supplies, your pot, your turkey baster, the bulb, make sure that you use extremely hot water or you heat them up. So when I cleaned my pot, I added water to it and left it on the heat, let the honey mixture dissolve, and then clean the pot. This I stuck in the microwave and ran under hot water following the microwave, and it cleaned up relatively easily. So I think that's about it. I hope that you've gotten some useful tips here in making your own Thieves Oil lozenges. I encourage you to experiment with other oils and see how it works out. And until next time, my name is Tom Chaconis with HolisticSense.com, wishing you a happy day. Thank you.